Welcome to Thursday Night Knives. I'm Bob DeMarco. Coming up, we're going to take a look at a knife that Dirk Pinkerton sent me. Very cool one. We're going to do a all-access giveaway. That means you don't have to be a Patreon member or a YouTube member. Anyone who comes and writes #knife in the comments could win this Sen Cut Bronte. Beautiful knife. Love this. Have one of my own. Thanks to Dave. We're giving this away. And then finally, we're going to talk about what is your favorite do-everything knife? Well, now, since we've had this ice storm in the east, and I know it cruised across the west and it totally ravaged Tennessee. Pray for the people in Tennessee. Well, I've been having do-everything knives in my pocket and on my belt for the past, week or so, and they've done every sort of duty. We're not talking about the cool stuff. We're not talking about the tactical stuff or the fighting knives and that. I'm just talking about good old-fashioned camp knives. At least that's what's been on my belt. So we're going to talk about that. Angelo, good to have you here, sir. So tonight we're getting all of the handle names, and I know your names, but the handles we're gonna have to go with. Marco, good to see you, Marco. You're usually the first one. Evening, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Evening to you, sir. Hope you're doing well. Carino1, nice to have you here, sir. Good evening, Jim, Bob, and fellow Junkies. Not sure if I have a do everything, but my do everything it shouldn't is a 3-inch Chicago cutlery paring knife from a 30-year-old set my sister gave me. Now, are you talking about? Oh, first of all, Chicago cutlery. Those are great knives. I worked in a restaurant that used Chicago cutlery knives, not the wooden handled ones that we all know. But I guess it was their industry series with the white plastic handles, and they were awesome. I mean, they were professionally sharpened weekly. But Carino, I'm wondering, do you mean 3-inch paring knife, like you keep that tucked in your waistline in case you have to shiv someone? OG Blade Reviews, nice to have you here, Dave. Hey, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Happy Thursday Night Knives. Lately, the Cold Steel Carve with the Atlas lock has been my do-all blade. Now, that's a beautiful Sachs style blade. Mean, pointy Sachs profile, opens boxes, slices meat, and AUS 10A stays sharp. I do like AUS 10A steel, especially the way Cold Steel does it. I mean, they heat treat their steels beautifully. I like the way, what's his name from their new spokesman from Calculated Survival. He doesn't say AUS 8. He says AUS 8, like a German. And I like that. Ground Fog, good to have you here, Ground Fog, as always. Smoking Rabbit EDC. Good to have you here, sir. I don't recognize your name, but I like your avatar. Looking forward to the show. Just joined via Patreon. Oh, good Lord. Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. I haven't even seen the notification yet. Never did that before, so you should feel lucky, Bob. Smoking Rabbit, I do, man. I do. I'm very grateful. And actually, that will put you in the running for the third Thursday of February's giveaway. Of course, we do a giveaway pretty much every weekend due to the generosity of my friends. James Hart, great to have you here, sir. Evening all, he says. Dave sends us tons of knives, and I have to give them away. I have too many knives already. I'm not going to. So through the generosity of Dave, we give away knives pretty much every week. But on the third Thursday of every month, we do a special giveaway. And now, Smoking Rabbit, you will be a part of that. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's greatly appreciated. Thanks, Jim, for bringing this up. If you want to help support the show, you can go to Patreon. TheKnifeJunkie.com/Patreon is the quickest way to get there. Or you can scan the QR code on your screen and listen up. When you join for a full year, you save 12%. Who could resist? So please do it. Yeah, still we have the what do we want to call it? Or, the pared down set. As I'm still working on this in here, we're taking bids for the room. Someday soon, you'll see a beautiful setup here with all my swords back up on the wall. I know you miss them. I miss them too, and the holes on the wall really make me miss them, but soon enough, you'll have all that. Matholomew, good to have you, Matthew. Happy Thursday Night Knives, Bob, Jimmy, Notes, and Junkies. Cold Steel Recon 1, and when it needs a break, the American Lawman gets tagged in. Interesting, you'll see during the pocket check tonight, the Cold Steel Recon 1, it resonates. Let me just say, it resonates with me here. Sword XXXY, Good to have you here all the way from down under. Good day, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. I don't really have a do everything knife. We all know Sword XXY. You do everything with your knives. So the environment is so versatile here in Australia. Everything from coastal to forest to arid, all within several hours drive. So I vary the knife to suit the environment and task. Well, that's very responsible for you as a knife junkie. And that's definitely something well, I don't have to think too much about. Yes, it gets humid here in Virginia, but not so much. Except on really bad days, if you wear some sort of a medium blasted blade close to the body, it might start to rust. An American father, good to have you here, sir. Coming to us from the wilds. He says, glad to be here with you, Bob, Jim, and fellow knife junkies. This week has been brutal. In all caps. I'm sorry to hear that, man. I've been looking forward to this through it all. Good Lord. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And I'm glad you're here. And I hope that this is some sort of remedy to whatever the brutality of this past week was. But I'm sorry to hear that. But here you are. So things are better. Cat Scratch. Good to have you here, Cat Scratch Knives. Hello, everybody. Hello to you, you cute little kitty. American Father says, my favorite do everything would be my 3V SRK, I believe. SRK is an awesome knife. 3V is an awesome steel. We all know that. It's a tough, good, tough outdoor steel. You pay a premium for it, for sure. But what did I see recently where, I'm going to think of it. It was Demko, Andrew Demko and Joe Flowers. Joe Flowers, he's the famed outdoorsman, designed a knife to have the Demko brothers make, and they made it in 3 different steels. And the one that rose above all was not the 3V, oddly enough. It was the 14C28N, but that was for Joe Flowers' purposes. And a lot of that had to do with corrosion resistance. But I love 3V, and my collection of knives with 3V steel is growing. Cat Scratch says, clearly do everything knife is my Strider SNG. Dude, we have an aristocrat and a high-speed, low-drag guy here. And I'm not making fun. I love Strider knives. I like the SMF, the bigger one. That's the only Strider I have beside. Yeah, I think that's the only one I have. But I love the Striders, and I love the North Mountain knives. Not Mick Strider, but what's his name? The guy that partnered with. Anyway, get the North Mountain knives BBMN. I think you'll like it. It's a good. It's a really good knife, and it falls in that Strider sort of profile. Except a slightly more ergonomic handle, because it's less triangular, less blocky, and the like. You will like it. Believe me. Sean Clark, nice to have you here, sir. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Hope everyone's week was good. Favorite night of the week. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I'm sure it's for many reasons, because the weekend basically begins here. But I'm glad you're here with us. James Hart says, my do everything knife is my Green River knife. Holds a good sharp edge. I cut food, leather, cordage, cardboard. It hangs on a magnetic. And it hangs on a magnetic bar in my kitchen. How cool! Those Green River knives. You guys introduced me to that line of knives, and yeah, they are pretty cool looking and very classic, and I would like to get my hands on them. There's a lot of history behind them, and I think Jim and I, when I say Jim and I actually mean Jim. We should do a Green River Knives spot on Patreon. Anyway, Benny's dad, good to have you here, sir. He is a gentleman junkie, and good to have you here. Evening, Bob, Jim, and fellow junkies. Happy Thursday Night Knives. My default knife, by default, my favorite do everything. I have a feeling we have something else coming. Oh, excuse me. The dust in here. Terminator Joe, nice to have you here, Terminator. Evening, brothers of the blade, and the handful of sisters of the slash. I like that. I like that. So that means my wife is a sister of the slash for sure. She's a tough one. She's beautiful, tough, and knows how to fight with a knife, which I appreciate. So I'm going to start using that with her. Do everything knife still hasn't changed. It's the Cold Steel Espada XL and the Recon XL and the Cayman XXL from from Off-Grid Knives. Here is what he's referring to, the Espada XL. What a beauty. Let me just put this under the knife cam here so Jim could go on it while I talk with Craig. Good to have you here, Fishbag. Evening, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. I know Fishbag has one of these. Look at that beauty. This one with the aluminum bolsters and the contoured polished G10, modeled after the classic Spanish Navaja fighting knife that everyone adopted once they could no longer carry swords in the street to settle their beefs. Barbarians, not allowing their citizens to carry swords. Can you imagine that? Hobbyist 77. Good to have you here, Hobbyist. And I like your, is that a tabla? Tabla? It's a nice looking drum anyway. Good evening, all. Glad to make it to the live. Stay warm, all. Well, I'm glad you made it too. And stay warm. I stay warm by talking because this basement, it can get chilly, especially right now in its current state. And so I'm just going to keep gabbing, and that will keep the body warm. Gary Bell, Maine. Nice to have you here, Gary. Another gentleman junkie. The one that I probably use the most each and every day is the Victorinox 5-inch utility knife. #knife. Gary Balmain puts #knife in the comments because he wants to win this beautiful Sencut Bronte with awesome action, front flipper, nice fuller for a middle finger flick, and that beautiful Dow style blade. And then he's talking about the 5-inch utility Victorinox. That's a cool knife. Ever since I saw The Martian, or no, wait, The Martian? What's the one with Matt Damon where he's stuck on Mars and he grows the potatoes? Anyway, he has that knife with him. And I always kind of thought it was goofy until I saw him use it on screen to survive on Mars. And I'm like, maybe that's another one I need to bring into the fold. Brett Smith, nice to have you here, Brett. Work Tough Gear Red Wolf. I love it. And now, the Red Wolf, I'm not exactly sure about, but Work Tough Gear, I absolutely, positively love. My most recent Work Tough Gear. I'm going to put this under the camera so everyone can see. This is the Steadfast L, the large version of the Steadfast, designed by Calvin Richardson, who was on the show just recently. Look at that knife. It is beautiful. And it went from the 5.5-inch field knife Steadfast to this elongated 7-inch fighting version. I got to say, it's a field knife. It does great as a field knife. I've used it a little bit at the fire pit. But this thing, look at that. I mean, it looks kind of bred for fighting. Anyway, love it. I love Work Tough Gear. I wish I had all the money in the world to devote to getting every Work Tough Gear knife, or almost every, but I don't. But I plan, it's, goals. Boggy the Pondweed. Nice to have you here, Boggy. So I cracked open the homebrew. Pardon me. So I cracked open the homebrew Bowie finally, but whew, she's a pretty one. Now, I'm not exactly sure I understand what you're saying, but I heard homebrew and I like beer, and I heard Bowie and I love Bowie knives. So explain. I'm not sure I'm quite getting it, but it sounds good and I like it. Desert Trance, good to have you here, sir. Howdy. Glad you survived, Bob. Me too. Well, I'm glad you survived, man. Back another week to gab endlessly 2 hours about knives, so that my wife and daughters don't have to hear it. Then again, they need to start their own podcasts, so there are certain things I don't have to hear. Todd Carr, good to have you here from up north. Evening, everyone, he says. Good evening to you, sir. Hope you're doing well. I know he lists a lot of his do-everything knives. Desert Trance says, I love my RMJ Sparrow for an all-around EDC that won't scare a normie too bad. Yeah. You do have to consider that. Fred Verbemeyer, nice to have you here, sir. Hello, Bob. Fred, I hope you got your Sencut from 2 weeks ago, I guess, giveaway. Good to have you here, Fred, as always. Seems logical. Good to have you here with us, sir. Presumably, sir. The answer to the title of your video, kukris. They are do-everything knives, and I do not have one out on the table. I was going to bring out one of my Rajas, and you might take exception to that, but those are great do-everything folding kukris, but that's a good answer. Smoking Rabbit says, I'm sitting in the parking lot of Gold's Gym carrying my JB knife and tool ditch pick. Yes, Daddy. I have a ditch pick. I'm not sure if you know that or not, but I absolutely love that knife. And what a perfect gym knife, especially because it's one of their ditch models. It's got the 1/16 inch thick steel blade stock. So it's nice and thin, nice and light. And the way they heat treat it, it will bend and come back to true, almost like a fillet knife. My question to you, sir, is do you have the ditch pick double edged? 1.5 edged or single pical? Let me know. Curious. Todd Carr says, for me, it's the Cold Steel AD10. It cuts great, but I can use it like a fixed blade if needed. Well, that's thanks to that awesome triad lock. Excuse me. That's thanks to that awesome triad lock. And then also their great heat treat and geometry and everything. I mean, Cold Steel. Fishbag says, fixed blade would be my Cold Steel Recon Scout. Folder would be my SR1 Light, another Cold Steel, or AD10. The SR1 Light Tonto is my everyday carry in my backpack, folding hard use. You know, I've got like a bunch of knives in my backpack usually, but always I have that. And then I have the Kershaw Iridium. I love that knife too. Benny's dad says, howdy, Bob, Jim, and fellow and the SOG Seal Pup. Benny's dad, sorry, sir. Howdy, Bob, Jim, and fellow junkies. My favorite do-everything knife would have to be my Spyderco Manix 2 Salt, because it's the one that is almost always with me when I'm out with the animals. That's cool. And the Salt, your beautiful, beautiful goat there, or sheep. Dude, I am such a city boy. I'm sorry. I'm not sure if that's a goat or a sheep, but I think that's very cool. And the Salt series, we know, are anti-corrosion, corrosion resistant knives for people who are around salt water and sweaty conditions and all that stuff. So that's a great choice, especially if you're out sweating it out with your sheep or goats. Sorry, let me know. Is that a sheep or a goat? And please don't make fun of me. Angry Tom's Hat Next Door. He's a member here on YouTube. You can tell by that little symbol. He says, I have a Winkler knife. Oh, Winklers, man alive. That is a go-to. Also, always Mora, dependable and cheap. Yeah, Moras are great. So cheap. The one thing is that almost all the Moras I have, except for one, and that's the little, what the hell is that one? The neck knife. They almost all have not rounded spines, but not great, not 90-degree spines. And on a Mora, which is a very cheap sort of outdoors knife, you want a 90-degree spine for the ferro rod, and for scraping wood to start your fire and all that. Have a nice day. Good to have you here. Have a nice day. Aus 8. Yes, indeed, sir. Arnold accent intensifies. We must be on the same wavelength. Aus 8. Arnold's the best. I was just talking with my boss today about Arnold Schwarzenegger, and man, he was the best, or is the best still, I guess, but his 80s and early 90s movies, so cool. And I didn't wear it, but the Arnie, I love the Arnie, Seiko Arnie. Langsterful, good to have you here, sir. What could be better than Thursday Night Knives? I don't know, man. Let me think. This could take a while. Thank you. I appreciate the kind words. Your check is in the mail, sir. Seems Logical says, wait, did you move, Bob? The background looks way different. Okay, Seems Logical. I did not move. We had some house issues in this room, a big leak, and then mold remediation, and now we're in the rebuilding phase. So I took almost all my swords off the wall. I just kind of plopped these two up here a couple of days ago. Had to put my logo back up and all that. But no, same place, and it will be rebuilt into something more glorious than you've ever seen on this show. I cannot wait for that. But until then, this is what you get. But no, we're looking to move, though. Adrian Fighter 35, good to have you here, sir, and presumably your better half. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and fellow junkies. My favorite do-everything knife is definitely the Voyager Tonto XL Plain Edge. I can slice, chop, stab, and pry with that thing. Razor Tech 5-inch is a close second. All right, Adrian, did you see the Cold Steel video that they put out today, or at least I saw it this evening? It was with Luke of, their new spokesman, Luke of Calculated Survival. He was testing the XL Tanto plain edge versus the XL Tanto serrated edge on a piece of 2-inch thick sisal rope. And oddly enough, the non-serrated version won out on the slicing. And it was because the serrations grabbed a little more than the plain edge. And I was very surprised by that. But still, especially in the winter, serrations are the way to go, in my opinion, in terms of self-defense. It can get through leather and denim and all the layers of clothing someone might have when they're attacking you in the wintertime. But and also the serrations last longer for a usable edge. But there's nothing like a plain edge blade. I vacillate. But I love the serrations of Spyderco and Cold Steel. Hero Sticks, good to have you here, sir. Evening and cheers, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Good to have you here, Hero. And I know that you will like the new Timberjack from Jack Wolf Knives, just from some of the knives you've sent me, especially that the one by the French guy. Now I can't remember what it was, the Boker with the skull on it. You're going to like the new Jack Wolf Knives Timberjack. I'm not going to show it now because it's in the pocket check. A little bit of foreshadowing there. James Hart says, okay, it's a toss-up between my Green River knife or my Mora heavy-duty companion. I didn't know they made that. I have a Mora companion. I didn't know they had a heavy-duty version. Might have to check that out. I'm digging the outdoor knives lately, guys, because I'm fancying myself. You know what I am? I'm an aspiring outdoorsman. I just don't quite have the right lifestyle or place where I'm living, location, or people around me. I live with 3 wonderful, beautiful, amazing, my favorite 3 people in the world, but they're all indoor cats. And on the weekends, what do? As soon as I can, I go outside, I start a fire, and I noodle around in the backyard. So I want more of those. I want more Moras. Terminator Joe says, also, I got my stickers and coasters the other day. Good, man. I'm glad you got them. And let me know if you need more coasters. I'm sure you have other people who want to put their drinks down in the house. And if you want another one, let me know. Benedict Odie, good to have you here, Ben. Now, Ben is, besides being a very talented artist and graphic designer, he's also the merch czar for the great and powerful Bob Terzuola and Terzuola Design. And man, go check out Terzuola Design. They have some really cool stuff. Chief among them, the amazing coffee mug, hand-thrown ceramic coffee mug, which I feature here almost every week. But tonight, I'm not drinking coffee. Hi, Bob and Jim. Been pretty hooked on the Demcos lately for general use. Can you beat a Demco knife? I mean, no, I don't think so. They're great. I mean, there are other great knives too. But I think if your choice is Demco, you're in good stead there. Commander Bell, nice to have you here, Commander Bell. Good evening, Junkies. Warm in San Diego. Fuck you, man. Warm in San Diego. Silver now $100 per ounce. So how do you take that? Do you mean, silver and gold? They're going up, right? If you pay attention to that, which I don't generally, but I pay attention to people who pay attention to that. Do you take that as a warning or a portent? Let me know. Curious. Brett Smith, nice to have you here, Brett. Brett, please get a Smith blade on the show. They must make this knife. It's for the good of all men. Okay, wait. Let me read this again because I don't understand. Please get a Smith blade on the show. Now, they must make this knife. It's for the good of all men. All right, Brett, I have to have you elaborate. I'm sorry. It's a little late for me, but I want to know what you mean by that. A Smith knife. At first, I thought you meant like a smithed knife, but I don't think you mean that. So I'm sorry. Please let me know what you're talking about. Thomas Wheeler with that Glock with the hollow point staring straight at me. I know I say that every time, but I love your very arresting avatar. Pretty cool. Evening, everyone, he says. Well, good evening to you, sir, man. I hope you're doing well. Mr. P. Simon, like the fruit, almost. Good to have you here, Mr. P. do it all is either my Swiss Army knife compact, which by the way, or the new Swiss Army knife companion, which I don't know about, but dollar for dollar and pound for pound, the Swiss Army knife compact is the greatest Victorinox Swiss Army knife I've come across so far. I absolutely love it. Cesario Etan, great to have you here, Cesario. And I love, okay, see this? Whoa, sorry. See his avatar? That is this knife with some leather. It looks like they're very well fit leather sheaths, so you don't have to put this damn thing in your pocket, this giant knife in your pocket. And those look beautiful. And I can tell you from my experience, Cesario sent me one of his sheaths for the TKL Knives adversary, and it is awesome. So yeah, Cesario knows what he's doing when it comes to sheaths. I like your avatar, sir. It's a nice advertisement, if nothing else. But I like that red one. For sure. That would match a number of outfits I have. Evening, Bob, Jim, and good folks. My go-to do everything knife is my Tops Norseman. Love Tops knives. From food prep to camping tasks to martial arts practice, my Ranger Bowie may take over that role. Hashtag knife. Ranger Bowie. Hashtag knife. What does he mean? Well, hashtag knife. He wants to win this knife tonight, the beautiful Sencut Bronte. Let me put it under some nice light here. This was sent to us from Dave of OG Blade Reviews. Dave, just keeping us going here with these awesome giveaway knives. This knife is beautiful. This is one of the Sencuts I've kept. I've given a number of my Sencuts away, but this one just takes the cake with that beautiful dowel-shaped blade, the nice fuller for the middle finger flick, excellent action on the roller bearings, not roller bearings, the bearing pivot there, nice liner lock, 9CR13 MOV, which is also a very nice budget steel, and then the beautiful Jade G10. Some people call it, what do they call it? Neutral G10 or plain G10. I prefer to call this Jade. It is gorgeous. I love the way that looks. Let me steady that camera. Sorry. I love the way that looks. Feels great in hand. Totally neutral handle. If you put hashtag knife in the comments or in the chat at around 11:10 Eastern Standard Time, if I'm being realistic, we will give that thing away. So please hashtag knife. Byron, nice to have you here, sir. Splitting slices. Howdy, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Thursday night knives. The do all-purpose knives got to be the Cold Steel Recon 1 S35 VN folder. We'll talk about that shortly, except in AUS 8. And the off-grid knives, Ridgeback. Oh, yes, I have the Ridgeback V1 14C28N for field camp. And the Ridgeback V1 has that Scandi grind. So it's much heavier than the fully flat ground Ridgeback, which I also have and I also love. But they kind of fill two different boxes or two different needs. You could use either one of them for pretty much everything. But yeah, I really like that Ridgeback a lot. And I don't know if I like the one better than the version 2, but I'm glad I have them both. Seems Logical says kukris are the do-everything knife. Carries like a knife, moves like a sword, chops like an axe, and looks like a machete. I love that. I love that. That's great. Yeah, that makes sense. Kilkenny, good to have you here. Kilkenny with your LT Wright small northern hunter there. I love that knife. I've been carrying that actually a lot recently. Here's mine since we were snowed in. Had this on a lot. Evening all. My go-to fixed blades are the BK19 Nesmuk style, and my folder is the Spyderco Manix 2 lightweight in Spy 27. All right, people, let me know. Spy 27. That's totally Spyderco, right? That's why it's SPY. That's proprietary to them, right? But I love the lightweight Manix. So yeah, let me know. 5-door, good to have you here, 5-door. Greetings, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Greetings to you, good sir, and your Citroen, which I think that's what those two arcs are. Seems logical, says Joe Flowers is a cool dude. He's very nice. We had an awesome conversation on the podcast. You should check that out. It was a couple of years ago at this point. I should try and have him back on. I want to try meeting him in Atlanta at some point. He seems logical. I think you would have an easy time doing that. You just have to lurk and, kind of insert yourself when he's done talking to one person. That's how it is at Blade Show. Sometimes you show up, you don't want to interrupt. Hey, I'm Bob DeMarco. You just kind of want to wait, watch, look at their knives. Oh, yeah. Wait till you hear the conversation come to an ebb, and then you bolt in there, and you'll do it. He's such a nice guy. He'll receive you with open arms. An American father says the brutality has been the snow and the cold, keeping the livestock alive and the homestead running. Damn, an American father. I really literally, I can imagine what that's like, but in my imagination, it's way more cool and glorious than it probably is. And it's definitely not brutal. So hats off to you for keeping the livestock alive, the homestead running through this freaking ice storm. And here, I mean, I'm in Virginia. I'm below the Mason-Dixon, and it's been below freezing ever since that crap fell. And I now have 7 inches of ice over 3 inches of snow on my yard, and I was sliding across it. I actually wiped out with my coffee on the way to work. On the way to my car this morning, spilled my coffee, and I made a really loud yelping noise. And when I finally stood up, recovered, got myself ready for the car, I glanced across the street, and I saw the curtains in the house across the street go closed. Like, I made noise enough to wake up the teenage girl across the street. And she's like, "What the hell is that, old man?" Oh. So in my very tame and domesticated suburban way, I hear you, but I can't imagine what you're going through. So God love you, an American father. Going Equipped, nice name, and good to have you here, sir. One for the UK, sir. Under 3 inches and non-locking. All right. Well, first of all, thank you for joining us from the UK. Just a quick and dirty here. My wife, it was 2006 before we were married, but my wife and I were living together in Manhattan. She moved to London for a year to open up an office for her, for the company she was working for. So I went over there a bunch of times, fell in love with England. And I had been to Ireland when I was much younger, but I fell in love with England. And I hope you're doing well there. And I hope your country, well, I hope all of our countries band together and rise back up to their former greatness. I know the United States and the United Kingdom, they're going through some growing pains right now. Let's be kind about it. It's kind of figuring stuff out. So anyway, it's great to have you here. But I leave this to the chat, and I will think about it also. Guys, 3 inches or under. Let's go under. Most Spydercos are slightly under 3 inches, so that they're kind of legal in a lot of places. What's a great knife for him? What about fixed blades? Going Equipped, are fixed blades doable? Because if so, I'm loving this right now. The chickpea. No, this is the chickpea. This is the cub from Knives by Nuge. I'll show it to you in a few minutes during the pocket check. Oh, more foreshadowing. What am I doing here? But yeah, let's find out something for Going Equipped, 3 inches or less for the UK. I'm guessing probably folding, since you said non-locking. And there are a lot of great knives out there. I know the Spyderco UK PK, United Kingdom pocket knife series, has a lot of great knives. Cold Steel, Spyderco has amazing heat treats, amazing grinds. So let's all figure out what our friend in the UK can be carrying, or a good new knife for him to get. Hero, and let me know if you need someone to send it to you. Wink, wink. Hero Sticks says, I think my Spyderco Sage 5 has to be towards the top of the list. Versatile, comfortable, lightweight, stays sharp, great geometry. This is all the things I was just saying to Going Equipped. And it's mint green. Nice to look at. Here, check this out. This is the mint green. The hell is this? This is the This is the new Ray Laconico design for artisan cutlery. And they recently sent this one to me. I just put out a review, well, a couple of weeks ago. And I love this thing. I love that clip point blade. I have to say, the one thing I'm not crazy about is the mint color, but they sent it to me because it's a new release for them. And I've kind of grown to like it. And with any knife, especially if it has any sort of menacing design to it, and I think a clip point is sort of in that category, you change the color up, make it pink, make it mint green. You have some cognitive dissonance there, and yes, officer, it's for work. So beautiful knife. But I'm liking your mint green Spyderco. Jeffrey Wright, good to have you here. Jeff, holy crap, I'm glad you're here. My everything knife is the Tops El Pionero. I want to get the El Pionero designed by Ed Calderon. That's a cool knife. Jeff, you want a knife here? Jeffrey Wright is also a gentleman junkie. He won, I don't know how many months back. You want a knife? I still have it. Get in touch with me, TheKnifeJunkie@gmail.com. Jeff, you have a knife waiting for you. I think it might be the, I can't remember what it is, but it's a nice custom knife. Get in touch with me. You won. I want to send it to you. I got in touch with you through Patreon, but, I try and get in touch with people through Patreon and they don't respond, or, maybe you don't check it out. So please do. Cast Crash. Thank you, Bob. Already have the BBMN Dwayne Dwyer. That was the name I was searching for, from North Mountain Knives and Dwayne Dwyer. Okay. Good to know. I like the way that handle feels. I love the way the handle feels on the Dwayne Dwyer design knives. I also love the SNG and the SMF. But lately I've been digging that BBMN. Bobby Rains, good to have you here, Bobby. Evening, everyone. I hope y'all didn't get too frozen this week. Well, I hope same to you. Bobby, when can I'm on bended knee now, Bobby. I want to order a Rainmaker from you. Let's talk. I'll send you a video of me doing Carenza. I can use one of your knives for sure. I'm not just some rube. So please, I want one of your knives so bad. Don't make me beg. Don't make me beg, Bobby. One Bobby to another. Discipleship with Devonator. Good to have you here, Devonator. I'm going to go with Devonator. Nice to have you here, and your smiling face. Oh, these knives have been getting me. And, I was just talking about outdoors knives and these sort of less tactical designs that I'm liking. These reef knives are gorgeous. Now, my instinct is to say Reif, because I studied German, and it's always the second vowel that's pronounced, but I'm going to say Reef because that's how I've heard everyone else say it. Does that make me a follower? Anyway, Devonator says, my Reef F5 Gen 2 in Magna Cut is my do-everything knife. Yeah, I guess it is. Sounds pretty awesome. My name is Kai, Greek for and, because it's good, and this and this and this and. How cool. Your name is Kai. I've heard a few people named Kai before, but I didn't know that was Greek for and. How cool is that? All right, Kai. Well, thanks for having you. Thanks for coming. And I'm going to remember. I'm going to remember that, Kai. Not this. I don't know what that means. So let's hashtag knife, everybody. Just put hashtag knife in the comments. Jim, can you bring up that last comment? I think I may have misread it. Let me just see that real quick. I named it. Okay. All right. I was authoring your comment, so please excuse me. I named it Kai, Greek for and, because it's good for this and this and this. All right. I'm sorry. I'm a Mama Luke, and sometimes in the heat of the moment, I just kind of make my own stuff up. It's like I tell my daughters, or I used to tell them when they would read to me and they'd mess up. I'm like, you didn't write the book. An author spent a lot of time writing this book. So read the words. Don't just make stuff up. Anyway, Scott, good to have you here, Scott. Hiya, all. My favorite everything knife is my Hymo Rosselli hunting knife, curly birch silver ferrule, UHC steel, an ultimate Scandinavian belt knife, in my humble opinion. Okay, I don't know this exactly, the Hymo Rosselli. I've seen Rosselli Scandinavian belt knives. As a matter of fact, just today, I saw one when I got home from work. I was changing, doing everything you do after work, and looking through Instagram, and I saw a gorgeous, I don't know if it's a Hymo Rosselli, but it was a beautiful Scandinavian knife, and I'd love to get one. Dragoon LSK, good to have you here, Dragoon. So far, the do everything knife for me has been the Kaiser Bugai in 3V. There it is again, 3V, but this time in a folder. I'm pretty sure that's a folder. One of the best knives you can get as a worker bee. Very nice. I can't excuse me. Got to breathe. I can't picture the Bugai in my mind's eye, but I'm sure it's awesome if it's from Kaiser. Dion Page, nice to have you here, Dion. Hello, King Junkie, Jim, and all you junkies. I have a commemorative marbles. Oh, I love marbles. Trailmaker Freedom Bowie, 18 of 50 yesterday from my friend. I got, okay. He's an auctioneer. He thought I'd like it. Wow, was he right? So 18 out of 50. Not bad, man. Not bad at all. Before I put he was right. Before I put this away and pull something else out, I just want to show off my hog too. Oh, what's that? Is that a crack in the Look at this. Look at this. This, God damn it. This is, pardon the French, but right there, you can see a crack in that Gidgee wood. This is an Australian wood here. So sword XXXY, I blame you. Just kidding. But look at that. That crack has developed since the last time I had this knife out, which was last week. Unreal. I'll have to show Matt Chase and ask him for a refund. Just kidding. But this is one of my absolute favorite all-time knives. And much like my Laredo Bowie, which also has a crack in the wooden handle, this will be mine forever until I hand it down to the next generation. My daughters will have to fight over it. No, they won't. But yeah, that crack will remain, and I'm going to ask him about that. Maybe I have to put something in there to stabilize it, but such a beautiful, beautiful blade. It's a mono steel with a hamon and a fully sharpened swedge there. Just beautiful. A fighting blade, definitely inspired by the Bill Bagwell, Hell's Bells, and what's the other one? Well, by the Hell's Bells with the devil horn guard and the coffin shaped handle. This thing is just absolutely beautiful. I had him put Luke 8:17 in there. Now, I'm not much of a Bible quoter, but it's a great one. Nothing secret shall remain. And nothing hidden shall go unseen. And I love that, because basically it means you can't lie. You can't, murder will out, as Shakespeare said. You cannot hide shit. It will come back to you. So kind of be honest, and that'll serve you best. And for some reason, I thought that would go well on a Bowie knife, because if you're not honest, you get the Bowie knife. Okay. Langsterful says, do everything knife, probably the RMJ Peregrine. All right. This is interesting. That's the second RMJ knife that has been mentioned in this do everything category. And that's unusual. Shane, how you doing, Shane? Shouting at me with his caps lock. Always good to have you here, Shane. Do everything. I'm going to take a fixed blade, so I'm going to pick my Homestead model. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Edgy American blades. Never liked a clip point blade. Never liked a Bowie blade until he made one. I think inspired by this show, and now it's a popular model for him, and I'm glad he knows the power of the Bowie knife now, but he doesn't like too much of a curve in that clip, and I get it. Good to have you here, Shane, as always, and good to have you here, Todd. I didn't see what you said exactly, but I was yammering. Dion Page says, #knife. Welcome to Dion's Horde. You have a designated spot ready and waiting. Come to Dion. Dion really wants this knife. He's knife whispering. And I'm not referring to Joe, that SOB who stole 2 of my knives before he cracked out and left the knife world. I'm talking about just whispering to the knife, making it come to him. Boggy says, so my cousin's husband is a blade forger by hobby, and he made me, oh, nice, a Western Bowie knife. And you told me, yo, tell me how you like it. Oh, when you open it. All right. So Boggy, I think it might be a difference between your real name, which I probably know, and your avatar here. So you like it. I'm so glad. Western Bowies have such a beautiful shape, and they feel so good in hand with that. And that's the kind of Bowie Shane hates. But with the way they widen towards the clip and then taper off, I think they're beautiful. And I think they're probably the most classic looking Bowie knife that we know of. And I put that in air quotes because we all know that the original Bowie knife was probably something more like a sharpened butcher's knife. But I mean, a swedged butcher's knife. But I'm so glad you like it. And thank you for coming back and reminding my old ass what we were talking about. Smokey says, Bob, you are why I bought my ditch pick. Ah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you. Yes, double-edged, but I have another that is full reverse half belly. That I think, okay, half belly. Also a ditch Utila pick and a ditch Sackit. Oh, man. Okay, you've gone whole hog on JB Knife and Tool. I love that. I love those 2 guys, and I love their knives. But I always thought the coolest looking one is not the fully double-edged one that I have, but the one that you have with the half belly and half and then full inside edge. How cool. And I'm honored that you would choose the knife because I recommended it. Dion Page says, I also got a brand new inbox, old stock, old timer sharp finger. Oh, and a buck predate 105. It's been a great knife month for the Horde. I want to get a case cheetah. Yeah. Oh, switchblade. I saw one today and got to have it. I didn't know the case made a cheetah switchblade. The cheetah is the swing guard lockback that they have. I didn't know they did automatics at all. I don't think I've ever seen a case automatic unless it's like an aftermarket kind of thing. Todd Carr says, going equipped can check out traditional pocket knives. They carry, oh, yes, that's a great idea. They carry many traditional slip joints, but in modern materials like Rosecraft, their in-house brands, Jack Wolf, and other American Bladeworks slip joint. That's an awesome one. I love the American Bladeworks slip joint. And, of course, Jack Wolf knives. I love Jack Wolf knives. And stick around because during my pocket check, I'm going to show you a really cool brand new Jack Wolf knife that is affordable. And it's over 3 inches. Damn, you United Kingdom lawmakers. That's bologna sausage. Okay, well, there are others. There are plenty of others. Okay, Cheeto, good to have you here, Cheeto. Always changing your name. Cheeto Ventura Chip Detective. Good to have you. What's up, peeps? What's up with you, man? Hope you're doing great. Level On Up says, hey, Bob, Jim, and everybody. Well, hello to you, Level On Up. Hope you're doing awesome. I love your treescape against the lake. Beautiful to look at. Terminator Joe says, I got my first neck knife the other day, the Cold Steel Spike Bowie. Is that the new or the old? I have the new, and I like it a lot. And I might get the other variations. Okay. Sometimes I forget I have it on when I sleep. Oh, man. Terminator, I know you've heard the lecture. But, guys, when you get in bed, do the check. Check your pockets, your PJ pockets, your gym shorts, whatever you sleep in. don't go to sleep. Don't get in bed with a knife on. Please imagine waking up to that scene in The Godfather where he wakes up and there's blood all over. Oh my God, it's his horse head. But that's you, and that's your blood, or heaven forbid, your whoever else is in your bed with you. So please, please be careful. I've had not nightmares, but daymares about that, because there are a few times where I've awakened in the morning, not for a few years now, and I've had a knife in my pocket. I'm like, damn, that could have come out and opened up in the middle of the night. The way I toss and turn, jeez. So please, 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 Terminator Joe, be careful about that. Not to lecture you, I know you know knives, but just from my perspective. Cheeto says favorite do everything knife would be the SE3 Fixie. That's a great choice. Anything from Essie is awesome, but for a do everything knife, that 3-incher or 3.5-incher is great. Old man on the ridge, good to have you here, old man. One old man to another. It's good to have you here, sir. Hey, all, good to see you all again. Well, it's great to have you here and good to be seen, sir. Scott says there hasn't been a Junkies do all knife list here tonight that a guy wouldn't turn their nose up at. Great selection. I agree, because we're, Scott, a bunch of classy gents and ladies who appreciate good cutlery. An American Father says, Bob, I would love to discuss the life of a woodsman with you someday. I would love to also. Actually, that'd be great. Stand by, people, while I get antisocial. All right. We will talk, sir. We will talk. Elite Turd Burglar. Good to have you here, Mr. Turd Burglar. Which I had. Oh, and I like your monogram. Hello, fellow junkies, he says. Well, I learned last week that a turd burglar, which is something I just call shitty drivers on the road, it turns out that there are people that, this is what Shane said, people who turn up just for giveaways. I know that's not you. I just feel it in my heart. Doesn't matter if it is, but love your name. Infidel, good to have you. Oh, Infidels Unlimited. You used to have a different name, I think. But anyway, Infidel, great to have you here, sir. Greetings, Bob, Jim. Lovely to be here again. See, I knew it. I just can't remember your other name. But great to have you here back again. And Infidel, since it's been a while, make sure you put #knife in the comments or in the chat so that you can possibly win this gorgeous Sencut Bronte. Thanks to Dave of OG Blade Reviews. Look at the weight relief on those steel liners. This knife is light, well balanced, has great action. Actually, this has way better action than my personal Bronte, which never quite had great action. You know, every once in a while you'll get a lemon or something that's not as great as some of the other examples. But #knife, and this could be yours in, we'll say, about 15 minutes. Adrian says, yes, I saw that. Those serrations bite down good. So I wasn't surprised with the results. The plain edge is more effective at work, and my serrated version was an anniversary gift, so I don't use it much. Effective at work, but at your work. I got you. Okay. Now I have mostly plain edge cold steel XL folders, but I have a few of the serrated. Man, I do love them. Their confidence in the pocket. That's what AI would say. If you were to say cold steel AI, what is cold steel serrated XL knife? Tell me what that is. And say, it's not a knife, it's confidence in pocket. I don't know if you've noticed this, but AI writes things very similar to all other AI. And it's always, it's not this, it's that, you know, and there's always a little bit of a metaphor in there. It's interesting. Check it out. You can start to see where people are using AI, or maybe they're influenced by AI writing. I don't know. Talking to my teenage daughter, apparently no one writes their school papers anymore, except for my daughter. apparently. Benny's dad, sorry, says, my avatar picture is our goat, Kirby. Cool. After Kirby Lambert, no doubt. Cute goat. They have those weird slotted eyes, right? He is well known in the area because he escaped during a vet visit. He's like, I am out of here, and ran around a Home Depot parking lot before I could catch him. That is hilarious. He's like, I know what this is about. It's like the dog when you're approaching the vet. They're like, we're not just going for a ride. I could tell, but where are we going? You know, and then you pull into the vet and they're like, God, man, I knew it. And then, you know, presumably Kirby doesn't have a leash or he wouldn't go running off. Animals. Hero Sticks says, yes, the Boker bad guy, Frank Souville. Souville? Definitely got my eye on the Timberjack. Yeah, I would put them in the same part of the drawer because they kind of have a similar vibe from the handle. Even though the Timberjack handle is much more narrow, they have that same sort of what do you call it, trapper style handle, and then the broad blade. It's right up your alley. Craig says, Bob, I have a sneaking suspicion that one day the 5 Max Scout will contend for a spot on my Do Everything folder list. So I'm excited about the 5 Max Scout. I haven't looked it up. I hope it's as inexpensive as the 4 Max Scout, because that's the only way I could get a 4 Max in my pocket and still be able to get other knives. The basis for this is it will be less costly 5 Max with the 5 Max awesomeness. Yeah, exactly. Like the 4 Max, which is great. And then that AUS 10A, so beautifully heat treated. It just, like, I haven't had to sharpen mine yet, and I use it for a lot of kind of bang around stuff. Infidels Unlimited, I don't want to just call you an infidel. Infidels Unlimited says, I do it all night. Has been a cold steel large Vaquero drop point for a long time now. Yes. So are you talking about, the large? Okay. So I have the extra large Voyager drop point, which I love, with the jimping. Why don't they have jimping on all the Voyagers now? I guess they're all made for a while, but hopefully when they have to start remaking them, they put some jimping on. But I really need to get the 4-incher that you're talking about right there. Lost Shark, good to have you here, Lost Shark. Hello, Bob and fellow junkies. Lost Shark, great to have you here, sir. Lovely send cut tonight. This send cut could be yours, Lost Shark. Just #knife in the comments. Ben Odie says, Bob, will you be at Blade, Texas? Presumably that's in March, and I think maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't have tons of vacation time. I'm definitely going to Blade Atlanta in June. And there's another thing. And then there's an October wedding in Mexico. I'm going to. It's funny. I love my wife, obviously, and I love her gigantic family and all of her cousins. They're all great, but they all get married in foreign countries. And this year it's a wedding in Mexico. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I can swing that with my my leave time accrued. So we shall see. But I'd love to be there. And if I am, and by the way, this goes for Blade Show Atlanta or any other big Blade Show public event kind of thing. If you see me, please do not hesitate to walk up to me. And if I'm talking to someone, just wait a second and then talk to me. Please come up and introduce yourself. I'd love to meet you in person. And because we've been talking here for 7 years now, and I'd love to meet some of you guys in real life, all of you guys in real life. So don't hesitate to introduce yourself. Never hesitate to introduce yourself to anyone. If they're a jerk to you, then that's their fault. They're a dick. So don't worry about it. And I'm not, hopefully. So come say hi. Lost Shark says, Thursday Night Knives is my all-time favorite Thursday activity after work. Yes. Thank you, man. That puts wind in my sails. That makes me feel great, man. And here we are. We're all sitting here talking about these things we love. I have a pile of knives in front of me, and I've shown you like 2 of them because we're just gabbing about them. Here, I'll put this out just so we have something to look at. But thank you for saying that, man. I really, really appreciate it. I'm going to put this down for your viewing enjoyment. This, of course, is the Black Bear Classic, the beautiful cold steel ode to the Bob Loveless sub-hilt fighter, and one of my favorite knives of all time. And I didn't get it. I was lusting after it for about 25 years. And then I recently purchased it from someone off of eBay because I wanted it not with their new Kydex sheath, but I wanted it with the old-fashioned leather sheath. And that's what I finally found. I love this thing. So anyway, I'm going to put this out, little eye candy. And actually, I'll double the eye candy. I'll put it out with the custom version of a similar knife right here. There it is with the Damascus steel. My Hogtooth Knives sub-hilt fighter that I got for my 50th birthday from my mom and dad. Coolest damn people in the world. So there it is. Two beautiful double-edged fighters. And that's all. I don't know how I got off on that riff, but I should be showing you more knives Thursday night. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. Scott says, as always, a big appreciation to Dave, increasing our stoke every week. Yes, Dave is awesome. Not only because he sends me a lot of great knives to give away to you through me, but because he's a great guy. He's an awesome dude. He's also an extremely talented martial artist, especially with blades, and has trained with all of the best ones for a long time. So he's a great dude. And then his channel, OG Blade Reviews, is just awesome. His collection is awesome. So yeah. I can't say enough about Dave. Dion Page says, my go-to do everything knife is my Nova 2. Thank you, man. Makes me feel great. No butt kissing here. Just honestly, my favorite knife I own, and I have over 700 now. I've carried it every day since I got it, slept with it. And slept with it next toe. Okay, Dion, thank you very much. If you guys don't know, the Nova 2 is a knife I designed that was produced by Matt Chase of Hogtooth Knives, and we made about 14 of them. And Dion's lovely lady bought that for him for his birthday, and she's awesome. And Dion's awesome, and I'm so glad. Thank you, man. That makes me feel great. I love that design too. But really, very little of that was me. That's the ergonomics of Matt Chase. That's the Japanese blade design of the Kiridashi. So I'm glad you like it, man. I'm really glad. Hero Stick says, saw an Ed Calderon design Tops Knives made machete debut at Blade Show. I must have it. That is cool. That is a cool. I like that machete because it's point driven. First of all, it's shorter. It's kind of a short machete, and at SHOT Show, sorry. And it's a little bit shorter, but it's very point oriented. It's kind of almost reminds me a little bit of a Taliban, though it's not Filipino. It doesn't have that hilt, and it doesn't have that curve, that general arc from the handle to the blade. But the blade part, let's say from here forward, reminds me of that, and I love it. I've seen him doing Carenza with it and just noodling around with it, and I think it's so cool. So yeah, I'm with you. Ed Calderon is a cool dude, and he seems to live, and he's earned it. I mean, he's had a hell of a life, and you can hear all about that on Ed's manifesto and all of his stuff with drug interdiction south of the border and everything like that. And then all the training he's done and all the classes he's given. He travels all over the world and just like hangs out with the coolest people in this line of work. And he lives the life of Riley as I see it. It's awesome. He's a cool dude. I have to have him back on the show. Hobbyist says, I really don't have a dedicated do-it-all knife. Actually, I got to write that down. Sorry, Hobbyist. I don't mean to interrupt myself, but All right. I want to have Ed back on the show. Hobbyist says, I really don't have a dedicated do-it-all knife. Just use whatever knives I have in reach. So that means you have plenty in reach and they're all capable and they're all worthy. And that's the important part. Matt Maurer, good to have you here, sir. What's up? Bob, what's up? Yeah, again, I am not the author. Jesse Reisbach, good to have you here, Jesse. We were talking, well, since your last name is quite Deutsch, we were talking about how Aus 8 is sometimes now called Aus 8. Aus. I love it. Jesse says EKA RTG 1 gets camp chores done and inspires confidence for self-defense capabilities. Hang on, Jim, before you move along. EKA. All right. What is the EKA RTG? It's not coming to mind. So, Jesse, let me know, man. Shane says, going equipped, I was entering the giveaway in your name. How nice. Wait. Yeah, that is nice. Chris Young, I like the way you spell your first name. It's Chris, like the wavy bladed Filipino sword or a Malaysian sword. Very cool. Chris Young says, always carry my zero tolerance 0452 CF. Large. Yeah, I love that knife. Large 4.1-inch blade with a slim, light package and looks like it was custom fit to my hand. Hashtag knife because he wants to win the Sencut Bronte. The 0452 CF was one of those landmark knives for me when I got it. Things turned this way, and I love that knife. And Sinkovich is one of the most talented designers out there and makers, but there are not too many knives I can afford from him. And luckily, ZT made that knife, the 0452, that really encapsulates to me the stuff about all the elements about his design that I love. And they put it in that knife in a relatively affordable package. And I love it. The one thing I'm not crazy about now when I revisit is the basket weave carbon fiber. I think if you search hard enough, at least it used to be, now maybe since that's an old knife, it's not so, but you can find replacement handle scales for it. But, this far away from that, I'm just going to leave it as is and keep it like that. But I like it. I love that knife. Took me forever to get mine razor sharp, but mine is razor sharp and just looks like a classy assassin's knife. It's like something that should be in John Wick. John Sisney, nice to have you here, John. Got to go with the Cold Steel Recon 1. It's a Pro Bowl blade. Thank you for all the knife news. Hashtag knife. Before we go to the next comment, okay, after this comment, let's see. Sean Clark says, we got 16. Oh, my God. We got 16 inches of snow Sunday into Monday. Now it's 3 degrees. I can't wait till spring, Bob. Did you catch James Keating interview on Bowie knife fencing? Is that the one that Tomas did? I've seen part of it and I need to see more of it. James Keating is unbelievable. And take it from, well, not take it from me, but I take it from people like Tomas and Rolando who have trained with him. And man, and James Keating is a legend and for a reason. And he really, he's done a lot for American Bowie knife fighting, and he's just cool. So, all right, I'm done with that. Let's get to a pocket check.
What's in his pocket? Let's find out. Here's the Knife Junkie with his pocket check of knives.
All right, this one has been in my pocket for days now, and this is unusual. I haven't carried my Recon 1, my Cold Steel Recon 1 in Aus 8 for a long time. And something about this storm we had, I was like, I got to have something I don't mind banging around, but that I know can go the distance. And this is what I grabbed. And I've fallen back in love with the small Recon. It's not small. It's the 4-inch Recon 1. I love the 5.5-inch bladed Recon 1 and carry that with some frequency. But this one, man, it is so nice. All right. To begin with, we all know how rough the G10 texturing is on the handles when you first get a Cold Steel. Oh, there's some pocket material left under the clip. This, I've had it for so long, it's worn down to like, It's smooth almost. And then that Aus 8 blade used to have that nasty coating that they used to put on their blades that you could kind of scrape off with some solvents and a little bit of elbow grease. And then underneath, they have this beautiful stonewash finish. So I've had this in the pocket quite a bit recently. Love it. That's my own sharpening choil that I put in there years ago. A true OG in my collection. I love it. Well, no, it's like kind of a mid-tier OG. It's not like old. I've been collecting knives for like, geez, 45 years. So it's not a total OG. It's not an OG, but you get the point. All right, next up, I had the Jack Wolf Knives Timberjack in my pocket. I am loving this thing. This is designed by Tracy LaRock. This is the first Jack Wolf Knives knife that is a collaboration that's not part of the JW collab lineup. I put a little nick in the blade. I think it was a staple. You know how you buy big giant, you know how you buy appliances and they have staples in the damn cardboard. I think that's what that was from. This is, all the Jack Wolf knives, even though a lot of them are pretty precious, especially the premium ones with their materials and such, they're all super robust. But this one is definitely the robustest of all of them. With that 3.5-inch blade, full hollow grind on that blade. So really a slicer. This in 154 cm and a contour G10 with the crosshatch patterning. This thing is just amazing. Incredible slip joint back spring. So not a locking knife, but man alive, is it stiff on the open and close, especially on the close. So you're pretty safe doing most knife chores with that non-locking blade. I love this thing. I think it looks beautiful. I'd love to have a larger fixed blade version of this with a guard. I mean, I love that blade, and the handle, that sort of a trapper style handle, is so comfortable. All right, next up, in my pocket, fixed blade today. This was riding right next door to the I carry my pocket fixed blade knives right next to my folders. Almost all of them fit nicely that way. But this one is the Cub by Knives by Nuge out of New Jersey. So these are all gorgeously handmade knives, and he's been putting a lot of swedges on his popular models now. And so this is an acid stonewash, CPM 154. So it's a powder metallurgy steel here. Razor, absolutely stinking razor sharp. I also have the Bruin, which is the larger version. I wasn't carrying this today, but may as well show it while I have it out. The Bruin, same kind of thing, same family, same steel, same pretty much everything except size. Also the beautiful Badger Claw leather sheath that it comes with. But what I was carrying today, this one has been on me. This has been another one of these like Ice-mageddon knives, during this whole storm thing that we've had across a lot of the country. We were all getting ready for it, and this was one of the knives that was with me a lot. And it's funny, with frozen gloved hands, there's nothing like a pocket fixed blade with a little fob on it. You don't have to fold it and unfold it and all that, and you just pull it out of your pocket, use it, drop it back in the pouch sheath, which clips to the pocket with that DCC clip, discrete carry concepts clip. It's just been awesome. So I've been kind of attached to these three knives a lot recently. Lastly, my emotional support knife, my ESK today, was the awesome TKL Knives Outrider. Put this under here. Formerly the Sapper. Now I say that loosely because they are still going to make Sapper versions of this, but they have kind of steered the Sapper line into the Outrider line, because really the Sapper knife, this was co-designed between Tim Kell and Imre Morgenstern, an IDF soldier who did/does ordnance disposal. So basically, what that means is he's lying in the sand, poking around with his knife, trying to find landmines. But when the tip of the blade is buried in the sand, he doesn't know exactly where that tip is. So the sapper knife was this, but it had a line which followed the grommets in the handle all the way down the blade, straight down the blade to the tip. It was etched in there. So even if you couldn't see the tip, you could follow the line into the sand and know exactly where that tip was poking. I guess landmine probing is a sensitive business. I wouldn't know about that, but thank God we have people who do know about that. And that's what this knife was originally designed for. But the market demand for a sapper knife was not as high as the market demand for an awesome recurved, great handled, beautifully made outdoors knife. So he's calling this the Outrider now, and doesn't change how awesome the knife is. But if you want this 80 CRV Georgia made masterpiece in the sapper model, you can still order it that way, is what Tim has told me. So this is what I had on me today, had on me or near me today. Wasn't carrying the Outrider, obviously. Well, maybe it's not so obvious, but where I live, there would be a lot of pearl clutching, even though it's legal. Oh my gosh. But I'm starting to take Scab's advice and starting to maybe consider carrying a sheath knife now and again, just to go grocery shopping. I'm not going to carry it to work. I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable, but I like knives and they're legal for me to carry. But anyway, so this is what I had on me today, the Outrider by TKell Knives. Great retention on his amazing sheaths. Another thing they're known for. I had the Knives by Nuge Cub in my pocket in this beautiful, what's it? Badger Claw Outfitters leather sheath. I love this thing. They make really stout and gorgeous leather. I have one of their leather sheaths for another one of my TKell knives. I also had the Jack Wolf Knives Timberjack on me. Listen to this walk and talk. Whew. Don't get your finger in there. And then lastly, and firstly, my EDC, so to speak, was the Cold Steel Recon 1 old school in AUS 8 with, in my pocket. Anyway, Kyle Kunle, nice to have you here, sir. Kyle and his Klingenwerk sharpening. He has an amazing sharpening business, and he took my Civivi Perfrico, which was a beautiful single-edge dagger, which is ridiculous, contradiction in terms, and put an edge on the backside and did such a beautiful job. So check out Klingenwerk Quality Sharpening on Instagram for a Kyle Kunle edge. Anyway, he says 3 inches or under, I'm here. Oh, okay. Let him know. What you think, Kyle. Chris says the best small Spyderco is the Sage series. I cannot disagree. I have a Sage 2 or 3. I don't know. I have the titanium frame lock, and I love it. And I love the whole concept. A sage being a wise person, of a certain type of knowledge or what have you. And the Sage series is showing off. It's the same design, but it's featuring a lock from a different knife making phenom, like Chris Reeve with the one I have with the frame lock, or Butch Ball with the and then you got the liner lock. What is that? That's Michael Walker. Lots of different locks on that series, named after the different sages of the knife world. And I think that's cool. Going Equipped says, thank you, thank you, mate. Americans are like family for me. Fixed blades, not in public. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I know things are sensitive there, especially with knives. But my British brother, hopefully British is the right word. Anyway, man, right here, I have a special affinity for the Brits, and I've had a number of British friends or English friends, and man, you guys all have the greatest senses of humor. And here's one thing before I get to Karen, and that is my wife, when she lived in London, she made a good friend who had this really great, rich, deep voice. And he came to our wedding. Great guy. He's been a family friend now for 20 years. And we asked him to announce us at our wedding. And he's like, how sharp would you like my, he's like a very, educated British guy. How sharp would you like my accent? And we're like, you make it sound good. He's like, I can make it cut glass. Not that he's like some upper crusty guy, but he knows all the, and man, people thought we hired him. It was great. Karen Slavin, nice to have you here, Karen. Not being an outdoorsman, James, he says, mine is more of an emotional support knife. I hear you, because that's where I'm coming from. That being said, mine is the Arapaho Bowie. Kind of looks like a single-edged smash it. Hashtag knife. I got to look that up. Arapaho Bowie. Arapaho. That's like an Indian, a Native American tribe, right? Arapaho. Excuse me. Got to wet the whistle. Ugh, flat ginger ale. Christopher Simon. Nice to have you here, Christopher. He says, looking at a couple of button locks, curious on thoughts of what are some of the better button lock knives. Okay. Christopher, I can't tell you necessarily what the best button lock knives are, but I'll tell you what companies I think do them best. Depending on your budget, if you've got like a higher end budget, let's say, ProTech does some awesome button locks. They've been doing them forever as automatics. And then, I don't know, at this point, it's probably like 8 years back, they started doing them with not automatics, just manual openers. This is, by the way, an Artisan. This is that Artisan I was showing off before. This is a great one. Artisan does a really good job on button locks. Civivi does a really good job on button locks. You're saying, Bob, what does a really good job mean? Well, they have different qualities. What I like about Civivi button locks is that, and Sencut, I don't know if Sencut, well, Civivi button locks are super smooth, not only on the actual blade action, but on the pressing into the button. There's no stick or anything like that. But I got to say, my favorite button locks, I don't have a ProTech, but I've experienced them. I have a ProTech automatic, but no manuals. I love Artisan's button locks because of this right here. See that pocket right here carved out of the tang of the blade? Wow, I need some lotion on those hands. But anyway, that pocket there is square. The shoulders of that pocket cutout where the plunge lock actually drops in, see if you can see that, are square. And it just, man, on this and on my damn, I never remember the name. My other Artisan button locks, I have a few of them. That square pocket that the plunge lock fits in is so tight and just solid. And I've never been able to get them fail on blade wrap, on whacking the spine of the blade. Most other button locks, instead of that squared off pocket, have kind of a conical pocket. And so the plunge lock, as it goes in there, that button lock, as it plunges into that cone, the idea is as the plunger itself starts to wear away, it will dig deeper into that conical shape, growing ever more strong, kind of like a button lock version of a triad lock. Though in my experience, it doesn't hold as well. So you can spine whack it and get it to go on some of them. I mean, this is totally anecdotal, but consider it. Oh, we got to give this knife away. I've just been yammering. Let's see. Staten Island Edge says, hey guys, what's up? Victor, great to have you here, sir. Hope everything is good. The Spyderco Drunken comes to mind. Oh, that's a Sinkovich, right? With the wavy lines. It looks great. Has a good EDC feel, and shape is great for food prep. Right. It's a little bit like the Spidey Chef. It's like the Spidey Chef and Dmitry Sinkovich got together and had a baby. That's weird, but you know what I mean. Yeah, good looking knife, and I love the waves, the wavy motif on the handle. Lost Shark says, favorite all-time do-all knife or knives, huh? Oh, okay. Let me reread that. Favorite all-time do-all knife or knives, huh? I don't know. EDC would have to be my new Tops FMS Mini. Oh, cool. And before that, it was my Japanese Hoku. I'm not sure what that is. Being a sushi chef, what? All right. Me, my wife, and my daughters want to meet you. We love sushi. Being a sushi chef for almost 30 years at work, it's my 7-inch Santoku. Oh, man, that's cool, Lost Shark. A sushi chef. That is super cool. We have a couple of chefs here and cooks here, and I think that is really cool. That's the region I work in, or that's the realm I work in, kind of Western cooking. But I have amazing respect for sushi chefage. I've watched a lot of it, just, as a eater than being put together, and it's amazing. So hats off to you. Dan Satermo, good to have you here, Dan. Always a pleasure to see that smiling, bespectacled face. Back again, he says. Well, nice to have you here, man. I live in Wisconsin, so I'm definitely frozen. No doubt, man. But you're frozen like, what is it, 9 months out of the year? It's pretty cold up there. Ralph Ralphson, good to have you here. Ralph Taipan from Cold Steel. That's your do everything knife. The Taipan from Cold Steel. Let's take a look. What a beauty. What are you? High speed, low drag? Are you an assassin, sir? I'm joking, of course. Really, it would make a great utility knife if you don't ever have to touch the spine, because you could do all work all day long with one side and then flip it over and use the other side. This is that VG10 San Mai. What a beautiful knife. This is another one I lusted for a good 30 years until I actually bit the bullet and bought it. Nice choice. I applaud you. Edgy American says, Bob, did you see Artisan's new big bruiser folder? I like it. No, I don't think I did. But I like Artisan, man. I really like Artisan cutlery. Ryan Lynch, pleasure, Ryan. I hope you're doing well. He says, hey, all, happy Thursday, Night Knives. Like Mr. Odie, I've been on a Demco kick lately. That's a great kick. Can't wait for the AD22 this year. For the UK gentlemen, check out Giant Mouse Jutland. Oh, what a great choice. That's a great choice, Ryan. The Jutland is such a beautiful, whether it's the slip joint or the locking version, what a beautiful profile. It's a clip point, but it's a long, graceful, beautiful clip point. And everything Giant Mouse makes, pretty much 99% of the knives they make are incredibly aesthetically appealing to me. Luckily, they are not exactly in the size I tend to go for, so I can pass them up. It's like, oh, thank God, that's $325 I don't have to spend, or whatever they cost. But they are always beautiful. And that Jutland, that's a great choice. Lost Shark says, outdoor do-all knife is my Tops Alaskan Harpoon. That's a great choice. The Alaskan Harpoon. I don't have any personal experience with that. I have hefted it at the table at Blade Show. The Tex Creek is one of my do everything outdoors knives from Tops Knives. I do love Tops, and the Tex Creek is awesome. Fish Ranch in California. This is about to be California here where I live. T-Kel all day, every day. Couldn't agree more. I love T-Kel knives, and not just the Agent 001, of course. Of course, I'm especially fond of that being my design, but all of the T-Kel knives are appealing to me, literally all of them, and I have many of them, not all of them yet. But the Agent series and the Agent 001, what can I say? Chris says, my son's middle name is Kai. Oh, cool. #knife. All right, let's do this. Man, we've been an hour and a half. We should do this knife giveaway. Bobby Rain says, we'll talk soon, Bob. I promise. He's laughing. All right, cool. I'm just nagging. I know I nag. I know I'm a nag, Bobby. I'm always mentioning how I want one of your knives, and I know you're not churning them out like like Civivi churns them out. But I'm just trying to stay on your radar, so I'm nagging you. Thanks, man. I look forward to it. Let's give away this knife. All access giveaway. It's the Sencut Bronte. Thanks to Dave of OG Blade Reviews. This beauty. I love this knife. I've had one for ever since it came out. It's a beautiful budget knife. Budget meaning, what, I don't know what you consider a budget knife, but it's just a beautiful knife. 9CR 18 MOV steel, full flat ground, super sharp Dao style blade, like a Chinese Dao sword. That's what I'm referring to anyway. You have jade or neutral G10 here, and then you have amazing weight reduction in those steel liners, so it will remain incredibly rigid but still light, and liner lock with excellent action. Excellent action. Look at it, drop shutty, and a fuller for that middle finger flick. Obviously, that handle design is super neutral, so great for all sorts of tasks. And that tip, man, that tip is awesome. You need to cut out projects out of paper for your kids, or you need to cut out a shipping label to send, a knife cross country or whatever you're doing. If you're using a tip of a knife, this is an awesome one for it. And by the way, 9CR18 MOV steel is an order of magnitude better, in my experience, than 8CR13 MOV. So don't get thrown off by the CR steel. It's really an awesome knife. Also, you can swap that Civivi clip to the other side if you want to carry it in the left pocket. All right, let's do this. Let's see who's going to win this knife. And wait, before we even roll, I want to say, just in case I forget, whoever wins, email me your address, TheKnifeJunkie@gmail.com, so I can send it to you. If you don't email me your address, I can't send it to you. And I want you to have it. And you want to have it. So let's do this in 3, 2, and 1. All right. We're gonna get the usual tease where we think it's gonna stop on someone and then it goes to the next. So don't be disappointed. It is Clark Henry. Nice. Clark, you have not won anything here. I do not believe you've ever won a knife here on Thursday Night Knives. So I am so happy to send this out to you. Clark Henry, please send me your address, TheKnifeJunkie@gmail.com, and I will send this out to you post haste, sir. I got to write down your name. Clark Henry. Winner! Exclamation point. All right. Thank you so much, Clark. And thank you, everyone, for joining in. If you didn't win this time, tune in next week. I've got so many knives to give away here, thanks to my great friends like Dave of OG Blade Reviews, who sent us this one that I'm sending to you, Clark, or Mike from Northern Knives up in Anchorage, Alaska. He sent us some cool knives. Speaking of Northern Knives, let me show you this real quick. This is the Northern Knives Champions Blade. This is so Northern Knives has an in-house custom knife brand called Three Dog Knife, and they just recently, and they have awesome knives. I have 3 of them now, and they just recently teamed up with Trevor Barrett, an Alaskan knife maker and winner of History Channel's Forged in Fire, to make the Champions Blade. And this thing is awesome. One thing I love about Three Dog Knife, besides how damn tough their knives are and how they're super well and robustly built, is that they're all about the outdoors. These guys are all pioneers up in Alaska. They go out hunting for elk and other things and whatever. They are living out on the land when they go hunting and such. And they're bringing these Tontos, this Tonto design. There's like 3 outdoor knives that Three Dog Knife makes with that beautiful Tonto. Tontos are great outdoors knives. They just haven't quite gotten the press they need. But here's a great deal. Oh, Jim, bring it back up. Here's a great deal that Mike from Northern Knives / Three Dog Knife is offering you through me. you can save 25% off on one of these beautiful 52-100 Cerakote bladed knives, whether it's this, whether it's the Riot, whether it's the Mac, the multi-animal knife, or any one of their other knives. They have numerous other ones. You can get 25% off if you go to TheKnifeJunkie.com/3DogKnife and put Knife Junkie as your coupon code at checkout. 25% off. That is an amazing deal. Mike is a super generous guy, also very cool, also has been on the show. You got to check out his interview too. But do that. You cannot go to Northern Knives and get this deal. You have to go to TheKnifeJunkie.com/3DogKnife and put Knife Junkie in the coupon code. And if you forget that, you can just go to 3DogKnife.com and it's the same thing. But my point is, it's not a Northern Knives thing. It's a 3-Dog Knife thing. So check it out. Do that. And then also, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the beautiful leather sheaths made by D. Johnston, Maker, Alaska. So really, please go check them out. You're going to love 3-Dog Knives, 3-Dog Knifes knives. Whew, that was hard. James says, oh yes, the wood has dried out and shrank back to that rivet. Your best bet would be to fill it in with epoxy resin, a clear one, then sand smooth. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And I'm thinking I also want Matt to do it. And I'm wondering, is there anything I could put on it? Oil, linseed oil or something that would stop that from happening? I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with Gidgee wood. I'm not familiar with like wood issues at all. Except I put olive oil on some of our wooden kitchen implements from time to time. Dragoon says, I highly recommend the Sheepdog. There is a company in the UK that makes some killer brass scales for them as well. Sheepdog. Oh, are you talking about Kaiser? Like the Sheepdog you have right here. That's a Sheepdog from Kaiser. Yeah, it's a good knife. And I think they make a slip joint. Is that what you were saying? I think part of that was cut off. Dave says, Bob, try UV curing resin that crack. Matt might even suggest it. Yeah, I might just send it to him. I don't want to mess up this gorgeous freaking knife. It's just too beautiful to like have someone like me just, I don't know. I'll probably send it to him, but so UV cured. So that means you put a UV. It's like when you go to the dentist and they put the UV light in your mouth to bond whatever they're doing. I don't know. Sort of like that, but for a knife or for wood. Commander Bell says, I own 2 Bowies. Hey, Commander Bell, any man who doesn't own at least 1 Bowie needs a Bowie. Every house needs a Bowie knife. Or as my brother put it, when he gave me my Gladius, every house needs a Gladius. Every Italian household needs a Gladius. Edgy American Blade says the Homestead clip point solely exists because of this show. Well, I am honored, Shane. That makes me feel great because I know that's a big seller for you. I'm happy. I'm happy. And I love what you've done with that design. You have perfected the profile of the Homestead EDC Bowie. Beautiful knife. You guys check out American Blade Works. I'm sorry. Yeah, American Blade Work. No. Oh my God. Edgy American Blades on Instagram. Jeez, I was sending you somewhere else. He's also awesome. But check out Shane's Instagram and his work. It's so awesome. And not for nothing, he throws a little color into the conversation because he's a bit of an instigator. And I love it. And he and I, he and I are the same age. So we have a lot of the same generational and cultural landmarks in common. Desert Trance says, it's a sign, Bob. You need an RMJ blade and an axe. You're right, Desert Trance. But first, I want a tomahawk. I want the Shrike. I love the RMJ Shrike tomahawk. It's so cool. Lost Shark says, yes, here in North Carolina along the Appalachians, we have 2 inches of ice and slippery steps are not fun. Not looking forward to the snowstorm coming in the next day. Someone else told me, oh, yeah, we're expecting more today. And I was like, no, we're not. We're not expecting more. And I don't know if we are where I am in Virginia, but if you're in North Kakalaki, we might be in the same path. Oh, but I heard this might go south of us, which is weird. When do snowstorms just move through the south? That is strange. Hopefully we're all exonerated from this. Or is that the right word? Hopefully we're all immune to it. Okay, so we are supposed to get a little bit here this weekend, but it's going to be worse in Southeast Virginia and North Carolina. So batten down the hatches and stay safe. Lone Star Dowboy, good to have you here, sir. Straight from Turkey. Dual collie sticks in hand today with the CRKT minimalist curved Tonto around the neck. If we were here, we would do Sinawali together. Have a Knife Day says, what is a Bowie knife? The Antique Bowie Knife Association is vigorous conversation about the subject. A Bowie knife. Bowie, yeah, I don't know. Oh, I mean, I think what you're talking about is the pronunciation. Is that what you're talking about, Mike? Let me know, Michael. Let me know, because I think that's what you're talking about. And I'm done with the conversation about how to pronounce Jim Bowie's name or a Bowie knife. I say Bowie. That's how I learned it way up in Ohio. And I know down south you say Bowie, but you know, it's been too long me saying Bowie. And I'm not going to say David Bowie like they do. Like, who is it? Parliament Funkadelic mentioned David Bowie in one of their songs, Make My Funk the P-Funk. And they talk about David Bowie, but they call him David Bowie. I never understood that, but now I get it. Lost Shark says non-locking equals static folder from Japan for the UK. Equals static folders from Japan. I'm not sure what those are. Static. I don't know what you mean exactly. Let me know. Bowie was a butcher knife until James Bowie used it in a fight, in a knife fight. Yeah, that pretty much that's what they think. It looked pretty much like a butcher's knife, like a what do you call it? Like a Western chef's knife. You know, a slight drop point, long, straight, little bit of belly. Boggy says, always, all I have to say, though, for some old oak and a 60s car axle, UTS, a strong razor sharp, UTS, what is that? I've used it to bleed skin and carve up deer, and I'll be honest, the blade makes bone butter. Wait, what is this? Wait, hang on. Before you switch, always have to... Old oak and a 60s car axle. Okay, I get the 60s car axle, an old oak to hang it from, and then you put the deer up, a strong and razor sharp blade. I've used. Wait, but what's the knife itself? Am I missing something here? You're talking about. I'm picturing a big old oak tree. I'm picturing ropes coming down like this. I'm picturing an old 60s car axle, like solid steel axle. And then I'm picturing a deer hanging from its back legs from that. You can tell I'm a hunter, right? And then you're doing your work, dressing it out or whatever. But okay, tell me what knife. I think I'm missing that. Autumn Wind, nice to have you here, Autumn Wind. Hello, Bob. Hello, all. #knife. Well, that ship has sailed, sir, but next week, come back next week, sir. Angry Tom's Hat Next Door says, I didn't know Case made a cheetah switchblade. Of course, I would have had to have it in hand before purchase. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Case, you know, when you get a Case knife, it's likely you're going to be, I hate to say this, but a little disappointed in some aspect of it. But still, there's still such great collector knives, and if you get them in carbon steel, they have a radically reduced stock in carbon steel, but I think they pay more attention to those knives. They've always been better when I've gotten them. Mr. P says 3-inch limit here in Los Angeles. Some of Cali is 3.5 inches. I'm sorry to hear that, man. Los Angeles, you should be able to carry whatever you want as far as I'm concerned. Same thing in New York City or Chicago or any place where you are you're at the mercy, the tender mercies of a bunch of people who don't give a shit about the law. You should be able to carry whatever the hell you want. Desert Trans says, I have JB blades on my waist as we speak. Ditch pick with the half double-edged. Unfortunately, the tip has snapped, so I need to work on it, but fear it's beyond my skill. Send it back. I don't know if they charge or not, but send it back to JB Knife and Tool and see if they'll work it out for you. But nice choice. I love me a ditch pick. Haven't carried mine in a little while, and this conversation has inspired me. Great ergonomics on that handle too. Have a Knife Day says you could end up with a new circumcision and not one in your favor. No knives in bed. I like that. A new circumcision. The first one was great, but the second one, even better, because I wasn't expecting it. It was like a gift. Oh, heaven forbid. Heaven forbid. Shouldn't even joke. James Lowe, good to have you here, James. Hope you're well, brother Bob. I am indeed, James. I hope you're doing well too. Can't put down the Best Tech Taipan. Another Taipan. That's right, with the really cool handle scale and the handle scales and the Wharncliffe, almost Wharncliffe blade. Takes that abrupt right angle turn down. Really cool. I knew when that knife came out last year, I was like, people are going to love that. And I think it's been a huge seller for Best Tech. But I interrupt myself. But I recently had 2 new Tucson models drop, and they are getting a run. TS 568. I didn't know they were into the fives, and the TS 459, TS 584 are all great options. Yeah, man. Tucson knives. Excuse me. Tucson knives, man. They make great knives. Beautiful designs. Premium, at least, handle materials. A lot of the times they save money on the blade. Steel, but they have a premium line too. They're just hard to nail down. But they're hard to find. But man, the one Tucson I have left is awesome, and I'm not going to get rid of that one. It's a recurve Tonto 336, I believe. Ghost, good to have you here, sir. Cold Steel Trailmaster is my go-to. Okay, Cold Steel Trailmaster is one of the very few knives in my vast and stupidly huge collection that I've gotten more than one of, and I just recently got the 3V version of the one that I've had for 28 years, 28, something like that, and has seen me through thick and thin. I love the Trailmaster. Not only is it a great trail, outdoors, do everything knife, but man, I got to say, though it's not as cool looking as some of the other fighting knives you could choose, I think the Trailmaster would be one of the best fighting knives ever. This is not a Trailmaster. This is also a good one. But if I really had to choose between this and the Trailmaster, I think I'd go with the Trailmaster. Though I love the Natchez Bowie. Well, yeah, I love the Natchez Bowie. D. Letterman, good to have you here, sir. Evening all, he says. Well, good evening to you, sir. Hope you're doing great. Ouchie EDC. Howdy to you. I just recently, this week, I said howdy unironically for the first time ever. And I am not, like I always say, I'm a Yank. I'm not a howdy guy. I didn't grow up saying howdy, but I just got this new hat. I really like it. It's felt from American Hat Makers, it's called. It's got a little bit of a turn up on the side, so it looks almost cowboyish. I wanted something a little flatter, like more of a fedora, but I love this hat, and it's keeping me warm all winter. And the other day I was wearing it, and I found myself saying howdy, damn it. I'm like, howdy. I'm like that just came out. How do you do? Howdy. Anyway, careful. If you want to avoid certain terms, avoid certain hats. Desert Trance says, I always sleep with a blade and have not sliced myself, yet it's like Roland from the Dark Tower series. You should always have your weapon. I always have multiple weapons close. Believe me, when I'm in bed, I can reach a tomahawk, a knife, and a pistol. 2 knives, but I just can't get over it. Can't have it in the bed because because I've seen The Godfather. Jerry, good to have you here, Jerry C. Colder than a digger's ass outside. Yeah, man. I don't know what that means, but I like it. Digger's ass, because I guess they're digging, so their butt is sticking out or something. I don't know, but I like that term. Start using it. It's colder than a digger's ass out there. I learned something when I first moved to Virginia. I was working with a cameraman from Alabama, and we were shooting somewhere, and it was sunny and raining. And he's like, well, looks like the devil's beating his wife. And I was like, excuse me, Tommy. And he said, it looks like the devil's beating his wife. What the hell does that mean, Tommy? That means it's raining and it's sunny. You've never heard that? And I'm like, no. And he's like, guess you're not from Alabama or whatever. I don't remember what he said. He was a great guy, but I love that term. It's so folksy and old school. And maybe if I put my hat on and say, looks like the devil's beating his wife, I could play that off too. Tioga Pires. I always mess this up. Tioga Pires. Hello, junkies. How's everyone doing? We're doing great, man. I hope you're doing awesome. Hello, Bob, he says. Hello to you, my man. I like your horse. I hope you're doing great too. Justine Winokur. Good to have you here, Justine. Victorinox Sportsman. Oh, which one's the Sportsman? I think Victorinox is like a great answer, whatever it is, to this very question, because it is not only a do everything knife, it's a do everything knife with specificity, because it's got all those different tools. The Sportsman, I'm trying to think of which one that is. Jay Demeter, hola, junkies. Aloha. I do this every time. Aloha. I know you're from Hawaii, Jay. Hola, junk. Oh my God. I just did it again. See, it's like dyslexia. Aloha, junkies. Hope all are warm. Not as warm as you, Jay. What was it, about 15 degrees here, Fahrenheit? And that's, I shouldn't be complaining, because my parents up in northern Ohio, I know it's a lot colder up there. But we're doing all right. We're doing all right. Not as well as you're doing in Hawaii. Good to have you here, Jay. Going Equipped says, lost shark, turd burglar in UK means a man that loves men. Oh my God. I didn't know that turd burglar. I thought I made that up. I thought I was a freaking genius. I called someone a turd burglar who cut me off, and the girls laughed in the back seat. And I'm like, that's a good one. It rhymes. It's kind of, I didn't realize others were there. Maybe I need to be careful. I have a couple of other turd ones too, but we'll bring those up another time. OG Blade Reviews Dave says, today's carry, half-face blades. Oh, you some bitch. Half-face blades, 4-inch human, that's for human intelligence, bayonet ground, S45VN. I need a half-face blades. What am I doing not having one? North Mountain. Dave's like my Dave gets stuff, and I'm like, why don't I have that? But I'll work up to Dave's collection. He's got the most amazing collection. North Mountain. Oh, and you want to check out North Mountain knives, which are amazing. Check out Dave's channel. He's got a bunch of them, and they're all freaking sweet, whether they're folders or giant fixed blades. They're gorgeous. North Mountain new lock bar chop Tonto, indestructible, he says. Pinkerton Fire Ant in Magna Cut. Nice knife. Oh, I got so many things out here I want to show, but I want to show this again. Viper Knives, Safe and Concept Eagle Strike. Eagle Strike, what's that? Dave, I haven't forgotten about you. I will get these Pinkerton knives out to you, but I just want to show this off again. The Congelari. That this thing is so beautiful. This one doesn't have an edge. It does have a bunch of my dead skin in the G10, because I find this one incredibly nice and quick in hand, and like just kind of moving it around is a lot of fun. So I believe this one with different handle scales will be mine, but I'm sending this to you, Dave, to check out. And then when you're done, you send it back to Dirk, and then comes back to me. Double-edged, beautiful. He's also done a 4-inch version of this, just one of them, which also looks super sweet. I say collect them all. Also, by the way, I failed to mention this time, when we reach 50,000 subscribers, which is less than 5,000 subscribers away, Dirk is going to make us a custom knife to give away to you. We just haven't decided what the knife will be. It will not be that, because I want to be the only person I know who has one, but I'm sure Dave will get one too. Just kidding. Just kidding. Spread the wealth. Craig says, Bob, it's cool that you have a scripture on the Bowie. The Bible is self-described as the sword of the Spirit, and sharper than any two-edged sword. They must have some great heat treat up there. No doubt, my man. No doubt. You know, we all have to find our. This sounds so corny, but it's good to be able to find strength where you can, especially someplace spiritual. And it's great to have whatever your faith is. Just hold fast to it, and don't hold other people to it. Let's see, Mars Kakitty. That's like Mars Capone. Is that you, Mars Capone? Mars Kakitty, good to have you here. Got my petrified. Yes, it is. Got my petrified fish in the mail today, and I love it. Thanks again. Don't thank me. I just sent it to you through Dave of OG Blade Reviews. But I'm glad you love it, man. Enjoy it and use it in good health. Angry Tom's Hat Next Door says, Thursday Night Knives is a great way to start a Friday eve. Puts me in a great mood for Friday, which continues into the weekend. Angry Tom. Angry Tom. I feel like you got to change your name to like Chill Tom, especially on Fridays. Thank you for saying that, man. Very kind words, puts wind in my sails. And I love hearing it, because I love Thursday Night Knives too. Oh, there he is. Mike, how you doing? Northern Knives. Hey, Jim, Bob, and Junkies. Running a little late tonight. Happy Thursday Night Knives. What did I miss? You missed the entire show, sir. We're about to check out, but I was just talking about the Champion's Blade, made by the man who was just commenting, and with that awesome coupon code we just had up on screen. This thing is beautiful. This one is mine. Someone else just won the, who was it? Who won the black one? They still have not claimed it, so I'm waiting for his address too. I guess people dip in and out of watching, but I contact them through Instagram or through a Patreon, and so I got to wait for him to see it and respond. Savage Smoke, good to have you here, Savage Smoke 74, carrying an old BG42 graphic Sabenza today. BG42, that's like some steel that we don't hear about anymore, like ATS 34. That's cool. Right? I'm right about that. Yo, girl, keep calling. I like that. Hey, yo, I like that. I like the dog smiling. I love the smiling dog. Our dog smiles a lot. My go-to is my Small and Cosi with Insingo blade. I love the Insingo blade in Magna Cut. I also love my Sabenzas. Sabenzas are awesome. And then I have an Umnumzan. The Tanto Umnumzan. What a great blade. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, guys and girls. Thank you, Scott. And as we say that, we are about to wrap. So I gotta be up in about 5 hours to go work and do some awesome stuff there. Desert Trance says, another good all-around knife I love is my 11-year-old Combat Troodon from Microtech. I love the Troodon. And the whole point of the blade is one side plain and save the serrated side for any type of situation snappy. So I have the small Troodon, the 3-inch, and that with the same configuration. Plain edge on the bottom, serrated on the top. Really cool. Boggy says, I have my eye on Solid Snake's combat knife. Not sure what it is, though. Solid Snake's combat knife. I don't know what that is. I've got to look that one up. Justine Winkler says, I'm carrying a Jack Wolf. Oh, well done, Justine. Which one is it? Is it the new Timberjack? I'm loving this one. Justin Credible Builds. Good to have you here, sir. First time watching the stream, junkies. Oh, man. Okay, come a little bit earlier next week. Let's talk a little more. I want to get to know you. We start at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, go to midnight. So we're about to sign off. And I want to see you here next week. I'll be at Blade Show, Texas, says Smoking Rabbit. So everyone who's going to Blade Show, Texas, check in with him. Justine Winokur says, Senco? No, it's Sencut. Here, I'll show you. You can see the spelling. This is in the WE, under the WE umbrella. So WE Knives is the premium. Civivi is the tier down, and then Sencut is their kind of budget brand. But they are awesome. I love Civivi and Sencut because that's where they take a lot of chances with designs. They do beautiful builds, great fit and finish, just lesser materials, basically. Ghost says, I'm going back to work night shift. God love you, sir. So I'll be missing this live knife show, watching while I work. Well, keep up the good work, and well, I'm glad. Hopefully, we can keep you going at the workplace with this knife talk. But please be sure to join us next week. Man, it's getting cold down here. Ooh. String says, what's up, Bob, Jim, and Knife Junkies? Of all genders, winter gigs slow, so I'm actually here a little early. Well, Strings, we are out. Thank you so much, one and all, for joining us tonight. Oh, as always, great conversation. Even though I'm the only one blabbing out loud, I love what you guys are sending me and telling me, and so I appreciate it greatly. Also, just posted another batch of collection selections, so check out the shorts coming out and a couple of longs coming out as well. All right, guys, I love you. Stay safe, stay warm, stay sane in these crazy, crazy times. All right, for Jim working his magic behind the switcher, I'm Bob DeMarco saying until next time, and don't take dull for an answer.